Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really honored to be here and a bit scared at this massive, a lot of competence in this room, and I hope I'm able to bring some of our experiences to you and that you'll have some takeaways. I'm going to be talking about how we transformed our company for 1.5 years now. And I think what differs VisitOSLO from most of your DMOs is that we are a private company. There are no public ownership in us. It's the industry in Oslo that owns us. And also our 100% of the board is the travel industry in Oslo. That means we do have some public funding from the municipality, but most of our funding comes from the industry. So mainly, if we don't make a difference for the industry, they'll put us down and we won't be out of work and Oslo without a DMO. So I'm going to talk about the travel we've done the last 1.5 years. And I'm going to start with some background insights that we did before we initiated the change. And then also, of course, the new strategy and the new ways we work. Change. How do you manage change in all kinds of organizations, or maybe any kind of organization? I've been here for 13 years, and I've really tried the bottom-up version, and didn't really succeed, I have to say. This was the old VisitOSLO, the organization map. And I was running the web development division. We did some really cool stuff there, massive. We done together with Innovation Norway. Probably one of the most viral campaigns ever seen in the travel industry, with the Holmenkollen ski jump, a game played more than 1 billion times, meaning 2 billion jumps in the Holmenkollen ski jump in Oslo. So that worked, but still for us, it was me and my little team playing digital, and then, as you also see there, we had the marketing division doing the real marketing. So, and that was the challenge. And even though we produced great results, and we were allowed to continue to do that, as long as we funded it ourselves. So that was the issue. And probably many of you have had these kind of discussions. We can't really introduce this, Katrine, because it's going to cannibalize some of the things that we've done for years and worked really well. And if they worked or not, nobody knew, but these discussions we had. Then, 1.5 years ago, this lady turned up. She's the new CEO of VisitOSLO, and she, of course, like all CEOs, she wanted to know her business and obviously see if there was need for change. She started the process, which involved the whole company, all the employees, and us getting to know the industry again. There was stakeholder analysis. There were many different ways we researched the industry in order to get to know where can we make a difference and make sure that we're doing the right things. So we get to know what's the value of the industry, and we got to know what days were the most valuable for the industry. And industry we're 80% owned by the hotels, so we start there. We looked at what days did the hotels have the highest revenue per available room? When was the days where they earned the best money? And we found out every one of these days there was a big event in the city. It was either a meeting, or a sports event, or a music event. And that was good insight for us, because hotels normally believed that they were the most important sellers of their businesses. But actually, we were able to prove that they had the most economical success when somebody else filled the city. And that's good for us to know. There was something we can do in that space. We also saw at the competition. I mean, Copenhagen has been here, Stockholm, you don't know. But these are the other two capital cities in Scandinavia. They are much bigger than us, both the cities and the organizations and the budgets. So we're like the rest, that's Oslo, and that's not where we want to compete at all. So we also defined another area of competition and other cities we want to fight with in order to create business for Oslo. And then we had a look around us, the reality. I mean, on our own, the old marketing efforts we did, we actually spent a lot of money, with megaboards on the tubes, etc. But is that really necessary when everybody's like this? Might not. So we understood that we had to do something in order to still be important for the industry, because the game has been changed for the industry players and also for us and the consumers. So some of the insights we had was formed into 5 conclusions and guiding lines for our strategy in the years to come. And one is that Oslo is more important than VisitOSLO. Stop being so VisitOSLO-centric. It's about your city, put it out there. The other one was, we need to have the same goals as the industry. And what are they measuring? And, it's not bad night necessarily, it's money. Show me the money. And we needed that goal together with them, so that they would be assured that everything we do, we would do our best to make their business healthy. We needed to involve the people of Oslo, both the industry, but also enable, they're big spenders. Can we make them spend more? We like all money. And then we had to boost the events in the city, as we know that these are very valuable times for the industry. So we need to find ways to boost events in the city, all kinds of events. And finally, VisitOSLO, a little company, DMO, for a little city far up north with small budgets. We really need to take a pioneer role in the marketing we do digitally in order to make a difference. That's our only chance. So we formed the strategy, and this is it. We don't have the big deck with lots of documents. We have this pyramid, and this is what we consult when we are wondering if we're touching base on what we're supposed to do. At the very top, it's the same probably of all of your companies. We shall make people visit and use our city. But at the very bottom of the strategy lies the really thorough belief that if we manage to create great experiences in the city, it will lead to more and better experiences. That's, of course, the social media filter that will make this happen. So, and that's all the visions are based on this. And then the main goals, as was said in the introduction, the digital footprint, which I'll come back to, and also the value creation. We know how much the value creation is now, and we also know that we can make it grow. And I think we've always been hiding behind, but we can't really be measured on this because we don't know if people stay there or eat there or there. And that's true, but in general, our work should lead to this. So, no matter where people spend the money. So the KPI that we actually have for all, this is not for the digital division or anything, this is for the company. These 3 KPIs, engagement on your own followers in social media, exposure of your own content, and content pieces created by others. We measure this every month, and every year we want it to increase with 20%. These KPIs, we've done a lot of research to find out what should be the KPIs on the digital performance of VisitOSLO. And we ended up with probably many of you know the Nielsen Global Trust in Advertising and Brand Messages report. Comes out every year and states what the consumer actually believes in. And Brand Home guy yesterday said trust is selling, and so we agree in that, and we think that these should our KPIs should pretty much match the top 4 of this research. Meaning recommendations from people I know. I mean, you all know that. Also, branded websites still has a lot of influence and a lot of trust in consumers. So as long as that number is that high, we're going to keep on doing that too. And of course, consumers' opinions posted online in general, and also editorial content and bloggers, etc. So these are all KPIs, and these new KPIs opens for brand new ways to work. For instance, when you stop measuring bed nights and start measuring value, you can easily actually just quit on some of the potential visitors because they won't bring in enough money to build up on your higher goal. Like Chinese groups, we will certainly go for the 44% that Signe told about in the presentation before me, but the 56% coming in groups, they're not bringing in, they're average, they're below average when it comes to income for the city in Oslo, and many hotel chains won't even have them. So we need to go for the individual traveler when we go to Asia, and these kinds of discussions we can have now because we have to help the industry reach their goals. When you transform an organization, I think I've used this quote quite a lot of times, and it's sort of easy to embrace new ideas, but it's sort of also very hard to let go of the old ones. And I can tell you, as we entered 2014 with the old organization, the old budgets, but in March, just a year ago, we launched a new strategy. It was hard quitting doing what we already have been doing for many years, and at the same time doing all the new stuff. So we were like really a multitasking bunch of people trying to do everything, and it was quite exhausting. But in the end, we also managed to, of course, we had a plan, but we also needed to turn the organization to an organization that fits the strategy. And that could be quite painful, and it was for us too, because we weren't like Brabant able to just get rid of the stuff. That you can't do that. That's not the way we do things. In Norway, you're not allowed, and so we had to take the people we have and work them into the new strategy, evolve their competence, etc. So the really, when we started the process, everybody was cheering out internally, but in the end, when it comes to the real change, it wasn't all that good. It was quite difficult. And I mean, it's not like everybody will like that, but change is very fun when it doesn't happen to you. But when you have to change because what you know is not longer what's needed, that could be a bit harder. But we evolved into this organization now with three divisions, all aiming to work in the different fields to make our KPIs increase the way we've told the industry that we will make them. So on top of that, we have the digital industry, and it's base of all activities. Even though we do some things, business to business, etc., this is supposed to be the base of all activities and knit it all together. And the digital industry for us is parted into two. It's the digital footprints that speaks to the potential visitor of Oslo, and it's the digital lighthouse that speaks to the industry. Because we have to convince our industry that the change we're doing is worth investing in. And we also need to teach the industry to be better. I mean, they're not, unfortunately, they're not all like general hostels. We need to teach them how to do things. So that's the main of the strategy. So as we launched this new strategy in March last year, at the same time, we launched an initiative to speaking to the travel industry and the people of Oslo, which we called VisitOSLO. And it was sort of a proof of concept that what we're doing now was serious, and you should follow and join in and see the power of what we're thinking. So we tried to implement as many parts of the new strategy in this campaign. And it was, I can't go into all of it now, you can talk to me later, but it was an open design process. It was mainly crowdsourcing and letting the industry feel about the power in the new ways that we wanted to go. And also, of course, it was about building the digital footprint. And in our strategy, it's mainly about this, you know, the micro activities that happens all the time, as many as possible, within the little sphere of each individual that we manage to engage. So we do, just to let you in on the measuring or the way we work. It's not so. You've heard a lot about this today, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time this. But we're not like most of you counting followers. They don't do anything for us. It's the engagement. Every time we manage to turn a person into an ambassador, that's important. So yeah, we of course, Facebook is very important for us, and we get content from ambassadors. Sharing pictures on our Facebook, and we post it again, and we get quite a good reach on that. We also share content that doesn't give the best reach. I mean, like here, we share a link to our website, but also that kicks in on many parts of the digital footprint, because you also see that of the 900 people clicked into the website, you find everyone that clicked in generated 3 likes through the website. And that way we make the content people in the website responsible for creating content that will engage people to share. And then we have experimenting with film. This is how you spend a night in the opera in Oslo. Can we have that? It's a different opera experience. The skier is my colleague, and I was filming it, and it's very low budget. But we did reach, for now, 165,000 people has actually viewed this little thing, and it works very well for us with a low budget. And telling, you know, a kind of funny story of Oslo, that's on brand. In addition to do like journalists and bloggers, like all of you do, we try to find new ways to make people share. We try to, you know, that's the most difficult part of the digital footprint is the content created by others. How can you make people create content that's the kind of content that you want? So we had a campaign with the TripAdvisor last summer and fall, where we actually built widgets that automatically feeded in pictures from Instagram. So the idea was, on the one hand, to serve the people on TripAdvisor with the content that they actually search when they're there, try to speak with them on their own language. And the other part was to waken up the industry to see that we could bring good content in TripAdvisor which they all know about, of course, if we could make them start hashtagging, making Wi-Fi available, etc., etc. And we also do the same in the Oslo Visitor Center. We have an Insta wall that shows, pictures that people upload instantly, and you have the meta pictures taken, etc. But also people, before going on exploring Oslo, get to be told that if you load up your picture, we will show it off in many places. And many people here, you don't tell stories anymore. We do. And the visitors of our website, it's around 3 million unique visitors a year, and they visit 6 pages each. And we, as long as that's a media that people will rely on and have trust in, we will continue to do that. And it's a very important part. And the easiest part, because we can actually tell the story we want to tell. So on our website, we try to become an authority on important Oslo stories in order to have the big navigation system, Google, to find us as soon as somebody searches on something that could be Oslo relevant, like the Munch you saw, or like other information sections that we find that we would be good on. So I think we have approximately 89% of the traffic to the website comes from Google, organical search. And we distribute our information to other channels. Visit Norway, of course, and the Visit Norway app, our own app. We have, it's on the screens, on the airport express trains, and some kiosks, etc. So we've been working with that for a long time, and we just wanted to hook up to as many screens as possible. And we've taken that to a new level now. With sort of trying to disrupt our own activities. And we do that. There are around 4,000 companies registered trying to disrupt the travel industry in digital somewhere. So we think, okay, we just need to, try to also, while we're doing all this thing that's important now, try to secure a position for Oslo also in the future. So we open the API to the database, meaning that anyone who wants it can hook up with our content, have it fed into their services, and create amazing services helping them to sell Oslo or find brand new business models and services that we don't do. And the idea is to boost existing services, but also make a space for innovation. What can people do with this, with the other ideas and other budgets? We're working with having 2 different hackathons set up within the year. The idea is, of course, to distribute and put Oslo on as many channels as possible, but also, as I said, to position Visit Oslo for the future, where a website might not be that interesting, but people always need services that could bring helpful information. And good information is a base of having a good experience in a city. But the ultimate, if you take this idea and make it all happen, it's disrupting us. You won't have a website. That won't be possible. And this also creates, what can I call it? It's a bit difficult for the organization, to introduce this new concept that will make 3 persons lose their job if we succeed. But for us as a company, we start to work with to evolve this part of the stuff, or also to know other things and other ways to solve the marketing challenge for Oslo. So we've quit workshops and travel fairs. The mega boards are all over with, the catalogs, etc. There's a couple of exceptions, but mainly we don't do this anymore. Instead, we try to find new ways in digital to solve a task. For instance, we're the first, I think, city in the world to have the city pass, the Oslo pass, all digital in an app. Both the public communication and transportation and the museums, entrance, everything free included, is in one app. And it was launched before the summer season last year, and it works very well. So that's one kind of thing. We also have, in Oslo, one of the things we are a little city, but we're quite good at music events. There's 5,000 concerts in Oslo every year, and that's approximately double the size of Copenhagen, for instance. So the density of concerts are high, and that's good for us. And we want to play that card, and that's why we've
So clap your hands, let's play. I'm moving my way. What's in store, no one can say. So clap your hands, let's play. I'm moving my way. Last night I heard you say, oh, we drink and we dance, and I'll finally take off your clothes. You're stood on the edge and I watch you falling.
If you're to experience a concert, you need a ticket to have it. 80% of the tickets to the concerts in Oslo are distributed to the Ticketmaster system. So what we decided, we need to get Ticketmaster on board and create new services that will ease and bring tickets to the people. So the most visited page on the VisitOSLO.com is actually the What's On page. And right now, we're very proud to say that we're the first company that ever worked with the Ticketmaster API and created a service on base of data coming from them. So if there are tickets left on the concerts in Oslo, we will provide this little buy, and tickets are available. Or even sold out, it's good information. So we're going to push all the tickets in the faces of the 3 million visits that are on this section. And we're going to start selling tickets. And we launched this 2 weeks ago, when we're really getting the Ticketmaster attention. Because they, oh, yeah, you do your thing. But as we launched, I think they saw immediately what this could be for them. And we're very happy, because if we can put more people in front of the stages, we can, you know, in Northern Norway, they're adding a little quote to the Facebook post. We're adding a little tune to the stay, and we think, I mean, you see here, what happens? You share, you have the good vibe, and you bring that home and you tell your friends. And you know, it boosts what I said in the start of the presentation. This is really when the city is earning money, and people are drinking beer, having meals, boosting transportation, and even, of course, hotels, etc. So it's good for everybody. And all these cases have done it easier for us to take a position in the industry in Oslo. They believe in us in a whole other way now. So for us, we have spent a lot of time now to execute some good examples that will secure them, that we will do things that will make their business better. And we're talking about it like I do now, blogging, and we have an industry website. And what's next is that we're basically going to try to do what Sørland is doing in Usus, but on the private money. We're going to try to teach the industry to be a little bit more clever on how they work the social media approach. And we've hired a person now that will help us doing that. So we're actually moving money from traditional advertising into a new bus maker that will work with our existing one in trying to make this happen. And then it will probably more likely for us to manage to have the huge increase of footprint that we hope to create every year. So we're ready for year 2. We have a lot of plans for what's going to happen, and I'll be happy to come and tell you next year. Thank you.